Hello. Okay, do I have my microphone plugged in? Let me know if you can hear me. Hi, everyone. Monique here from Silver Paw Studio. Welcome to the green room, my office I've been working on. Heather is already here. Hello, Heather. Yes, I am doing better, is how I'm going to answer that. Make sure that you can hear me. I got to turn the sound off on my phone, I realized. Pardon me for just a moment. I hope you're doing well and brought your questions and stories and stuff for us today. I think this is like the last Monday of the month. I try to do these live streams, Q&A for 1 hour once a month, and it's usually one of the last 2 Mondays of the month. And so you can put that on your calendar. Of course, I want you to sign up for the email, which you can get to. What's the best link I can get you? Right here. Here on ProPet Photog, there's a link to join the email list. And so I always put in there Friday mornings, right when the produced video goes live on YouTube, the email goes out and it has all kinds of things in there too. And it tells you when these are going to be ahead of time. So be sure you're on there. Excuse me so much. Reminder that we have a Facebook group, but guess what? You probably know this. I'm looking at my links here. We also have, I thought I made a banner. We also have a Facebook page now. Okay. I thought I had made this banner. Let's see if I do that. Press enter. Oh, okay. Here we go. Well, it basically just search for ProPet Photog and you will find it. So the difference being the group is a private group. You have to answer all the questions. If you do not answer the questions to get into that group, I will just ignore your request. That's how that is. But there is now a public page as well. So if you want to be part of that, you can. And so that's making it just a little bit easier to find the group instead of having to kind of find me through my studio page and all that. So that's a new thing that I created. Oh my gosh, Frank. Hi, boss. Oh my gosh. Frank, you're so funny. Frank and I have had just a ton of fun doing all kinds of sessions together this year. Oh my gosh. Yes. Welcome, Frank. Andrea, I am feeling better. So for those who don't know, I did have COVID. The first about 2 weeks of July of this month started just after 4th of July, and it was pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. I did not like that. It was not pleasant. And that was with having vaccines and everything. So it was, a lot of over-the-counter medications and humidifier and sleeping and staying away from my family. And it was the worst. I have to say, it was the worst. But as of a week ago Saturday, so a week and a half ago almost, I did do a test negative. Yay. And so I've been working with clients since then. And I also felt better. I'm still wearing a mask because I'm doing some coughing, but that's even abated now. So yay. Of course I say that and talking seems to kind of rile it up a little bit. So that's kind of a bummer. What's weird though is that Facebook page, I had my laptop with me in my bedroom. So every time I had like a moment, I was just kind of bored, I would do something. And that's how the Facebook group was born. I was like, you know what? We need a group. I've been putting this off too long. I mean, a Facebook page. We've been putting it off too long. So that's what I made while I had COVID brain. You're welcome. I don't know. Okay, so what did Andrea say? She said, "Hi, yes, I am feeling tons better, thank you." Oh, yeah, I know what you meant. And thank you. Thank you, Marie. And Patty, you're really not late. It's only been like 3 minutes, and I was just saying I'm pretty much recovered from COVID. Whew. Yes, and if y'all know me, you know I love Mondays. I love Mondays. And so, that first Monday that I just was not feeling it, I'm like, I missed it. I miss like talking to you all in the ProPet Photog groups and here on YouTube, and I missed talking to my actual clients. I miss my family. I mean, all the things. Like when you're just sitting in your room all by yourself for days and days and days. Yeah, so I missed you. I'm glad to be back. I love Mondays. I've been doing a ton of work. Today, if you saw one of my most recent YouTube videos, it was actually a piece of one of these lives where I told you all about the book project that I'm doing for the year. And that's what I did all morning today was worked on that book. And I have 2 sessions left. So Frank and I have got one this Thursday and then one on Monday. And then that's it. That's the deadline. I'll have finished all of the 34 dogs for this book. So super exciting. And my sister has actually volunteered to help me with the designing of the book, their specialty software for that. So she's pretty excited for those things. Yay. As I have information, I'll share it. It's just kind of like in the works right now. And so that's one of the last videos. My awesome editor, Katie, um, she pulled that together for me. I think while I had COVID, I was like, there's no way I can make a video. And I didn't have any pre edited or pre recorded because I'd had family in town and I had my 2.5 years late wedding reception here at the house. And then I immediately went out of town for a week to my daughter's. So I had nothing. So Epic Kate, whoop whoop, shout out to her if she gets on here, but I think she's on her way back to Sweden from Germany. Um, so, so great to have a whole team of people, which is wonderful. Frank and Katie are amazing. So that's kind of where I'm at. But one of the other things that I wanted to talk to y'all about today, and be sure to typety type your questions in here because this is what this live stream is for. This is a time where you can pick my brain and we can kind of talk amongst ourselves. And if you have any questions about pet photography, volunteering, gear, business of client interaction, just like any of those things, type them in here and we'll have a little talk about it. Again, we do have the Facebook page now as well as the group if you're a member of that. So keeping that in mind, what I also wanted to tell you is that the next 2 days I have set aside kind of a cool concept. Another business friend of mine locally here, she and I just love talking business and doing all these things. We were going to do a 2-day semi out of town, like an hour from here, rent a little B&B, Airbnb, and have 2 work days. So she would work on her projects and I would work on my projects. Well, because I had COVID, we had to push that and it just was really hard to reschedule. So what we decided to do is meet in between of where we live in another town at a coffee shop and do like 4 to 6 hour work together. So I'm going to take my laptop, which is over on the table here. I'm going to take my laptop. She's going to bring her laptop and we're just going to sit together and have coffee at a coffee shop and work on projects. And the project I'm working on is the content for a Pro Pet Photog for 2023. Yeah. So I would love your input. A lot of you are on here at different stages of your business, volunteering, any of those things. We've got Frank and Heather and Andrea and Marie and Patty. Thank you, Patty. And we're all at different stages. And so we all have different questions and different milestones we're hitting and different help that we might need. So I'd love your input, but I am trying to put together kind of a new format for propetphotog.com. Let me put that banner up so y'all can go see it, and replay viewers, be sure to go check it out. So right now, I do have a membership there that's called the Community Center, which is going to stay the Community Center, but I'm changing the membership. And I have all my courses and my free downloads and my Canva templates and just all the resources I've made over the last, probably 6 or 7 years are all right there. This is the hub to get anything that I have created. And I'm trying to keep up with the blogs in there, but it's been difficult. So anyway, that is where a lot of things are. And what I want to do is really make that a better resource for you all and more concise. And so I'll have more to talk to you about. But if there is something you specifically want me to cover in like content for you all over on propetphotog.com for 2023, I'd love your input on that. So that is what I'm devoting my next two days to, is working on content for you for next year. And trust me, I wanted to implement some of this year, but I'm so glad I didn't now with COVID, because I've got to get this book finished. And then, as you know, fall is typically a very busy time. And then I have another grandbaby coming. So I've got holiday plans. So this will all implement in January. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I need to talk to her, but I will probably have a special guest for January. I am stoked. I am just, oh. Okay, I'll have to tell you about it later because Patty right now has a gear question. Patty, what you got? What you got? Ask your question. Let me get that banner out of the way. Get some water. All right. Here we go. Sorry, still that little bit of a cough, right? My Interfit lights are pretty much worthless, so I'm not going to record them in my financials as assets. Do you think I can sell them for any value? They came with a kit with backpacks and modifiers. Well, you can always try. I mean, why not? If they don't sell, then you can just give them to someone. I know when I sold my alien bees, they were a little bit glitchy for me because they didn't like to travel anymore. I gave them this little personality, like they didn't like to go to client houses anymore. But I knew that someone in my camera club really wanted to upgrade their lights, but they were just going to sit in their home studio. They had like a den that they converted into a studio. So I sold that whole kit to him, like the light stands, I think some umbrellas, the bees, maybe even some grids. Whatever I had for the alien bees, he bought the entire package. I said, they're picky, so just set them in your studio and leave them and they'll be just fine. And they have been. That's been a few years ago. So if you kind of know someone, you can say, it just doesn't work for my Nikon, but it could work for your gear. Obviously be upfront, but I don't see why not. Why not try to sell them? What else are you going to do with them? You're going to have to donate them, I guess. That's what I would suggest. If you think you could sell them, go for it. Yeah. Yeah, especially if you have any, paperwork or just some kind of, resource for them so they know how to use them. Yeah, I think there's a lot of beginner people who would love that. Yeah, I definitely think give it a try. If it doesn't sell, what are you out, Unfortunately, you do have to buy new lights, and that's why I went ahead and sold mine for whatever I can get because that went towards my new lights. So selling all that entire kit of my alien bees bought me my first flashpoint, whatever that is, 600. So all of that, I was able to buy my flashpoint Godox, whatever it's called, 600 flash that you see me use in my videos. So it did help offset that cost, actually. Yeah, I know. Excuse me. Another sip of water. Does that answer that, Patty? How does that sound to you? I'm the kind of person who just says, try it. If it works, it works. I mean, wouldn't that be great? And the great thing about this private sales is you don't have to give them any warranty. You just say, it is out of my hands. People kind of know that when they buy used gear anyway. But if it feels better that you could just say, hey, you're taking this knowing the situation. Have fun. They'll only work with my Nikon Z2 if I use a speed light to trigger them. Oh, yes, I'd like to get a little more cash to get the flashpoint. I think I'll be better off. Yeah, it sounds like they've just been really not very compatible for your camera that you have now, and that's how it is, right? Why keep something that's so infuriating? I can see if it was something that was thousands of dollars and you're like, okay, I can live with a glitch, but if you're talking like $300 for the new flash, you can get $100 for this set. Why not? Yeah. You don't need to go through that pain, right? Of trying to make these things work by buying new flashes that you didn't want to buy and the whole thing. And yeah, this could be kind of a mess. Yeah. Yeah. So Godox, similar to Flashpoint. Yeah. So I've got Frank and I have actually the same flash. We have the speed light. Frank and I have the same speed light. So he always brings his to the sessions too, just in case for whatever reason, or if we wanted to add more. So I have my little flash, and then I have the Godox or Flashpoint 600s, two of those, which are battery powered, which I love. And then I have the big Godox UL 150, which is a video light. And I have that for my video work. And I just filmed a video yesterday photographing Bailey, and she does not like strobes or flashes at all. Just the loud hums. She doesn't like it. I don't know what her problem is, but so I have to use my big video light, which is a plug-in, and this has a whole V-mount battery and stuff. But so I've got all that kind of lighting stuff and different modifiers, and that so that video will come out here in the next few weeks. But I got to use my really, really huge, well, I think it's huge, my big new round modifier. So that was really fun. So I photographed the dog and I photographed Emmy. So all that video is coming soon. And if it looks like they're going out of business, they'll work for DSLR Nikon. But if someone busts a bulb, they won't really get a bulb. Yeah, so just let them know. It's a heck of a deal, everybody. Get an extra bulb now. And like I've never replaced a bulb in any of my lights. So you can let them know. It's pretty rare, but you're not going to have one. And you don't have to lead with all of the downsides, honestly, Patty. Don't lead with the downsides. Just say, hey, these are not going to work for my system. I've heard a rumor that maybe they're not going out of business. I don't know. But they still work and they could work on your system. Bam. End of story. You do not have to lead with all the downsides. The upside is they work and they could work on this kind and they're cheap if you want to get started. So when I help people with copy, sometimes it's hard to not lead with the downsides of things, but I try not to. You want to be honest, obviously, but let's start with the upsides. I'm super torn between keeping the Sony 7200 f4 and purchasing the new f2.8 Mark II. Do you own the first version of the new version? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And here's the problem right now, Marie, is they announced that lens, the new 7200 to version 2, 7 months ago. Good luck finding it. So I almost in January put myself on the wait list for a local place, but the taxes are a little bit high in that next city. I'm like, oh, I don't want to pay that much more. I'll just wait till I can find it on Amazon, right? I have not been able to find that lens. Now I haven't looked in a few weeks, honestly, but I would love, love, love that lens. The version 2. And the version 1 is awesome. It's just I would love to get the second version because it's like 25% lighter is what I heard, which it would make a huge difference. Frank knows. I am like laying on the ground and doing all the things, even though he's doing all the things too. And it's just that 25% lighter would be so great. And it's supposed to be pretty fast and this whole thing. But right now, what I've rented is the 24-70 version 2. 24-70 2.8 version 2 that just came out. So much better than the first one. If you remember a year and a half ago, I did a review. I rented the Sony version and the Tamron, and I was like, I'll just buy the Tamron. And then the Tamron I didn't end up liking or using very much. But lately I've seen instances where I could use it. And when they announced this new 24-70, I'm like, I am renting that. So that's an upcoming video on this channel and my other channel as well. But I would absolutely love to get my hands on the version 270 200. That is like my favorite. Yeah. But with studio space, it's really hard to use that lens in a small studio. So if you're doing all outdoors and you have room, I never take that off. Essentially, like the only reason I put the 24-70 on a bunch of these sessions lately is just because I'm doing like this test. So kind of a review. But if I'm in the studio all the time, oh my gosh, that would be my preferred lens in the studio, 24-70, but 70-200 almost all the time. Almost all the time. Yeah. You want the Sigma 25? Oh, you do. Okay. I didn't think to rent that one. Probably because they were kind of mean to me at an expo once. I know that's a weird reason, but by the time I didn't understand that Sony caps the speed of other brand lenses. Oh, is that what's going on? Okay. I found that with the Tamron, it just absolutely would not focus if the light was even a little bit dim. So if you can imagine, I go to someone's house and I'm set up in their living room, and if I've got my speed light, not my speed light, but my either one, I don't want the modeling light on because it'll chew up battery, right? Or it's bouncing off the ceiling. It's not even pointing towards them. It just wouldn't focus. It just would not focus. And so I tried with the Sony in the studio yesterday, going to the darkest corner of the studio to see if it would still focus. And it did pretty good. Yeah. Patty says, I'm having a hard time finding batteries for a Z72. Camera stores out of stock. Oh, that's crazy. Well, not really though, because batteries overall are kind of hard to come by these days, I think. Maybe Amazon, you know. And I know our camera store, it's like this tiny chain, and I can have them pull stuff from other branches. So like I usually go to the Boulder store, but if there's like a background I want that's in their South Denver store, they will just move it over to Boulder and I can pick it up later. So if it's a small network of businesses, they could probably pull in, or you can just put yourself on the wait list. It sounds like, they get some in. That's too bad. So do you only have one battery right now? That's a bummer. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, what I'm finding in studio is my studio's not huge, but I wanna say it's like 20 feet, and sometimes I'm all the way in that little kitchenette. I have to open the door and sit in the kitchen to use my 70 to 200 if there's more than 1 dog, or I was gonna say if there's a big dog. No, if there's more than 1 dog or more than 1 subject, I have to be way back in the kitchen, and I have to move the light stands out of the way and everything to not have them in the shot. And so what I love is that 24 to 70, and I was using it at the studio yesterday with Emmy and with Bailey. It was perfect for that small space. It was so great without distortion, because what I've been doing is I have nothing in the middle. So I've got my 17 to 28 Tamron, which actually works out pretty good, way too wide. So I'm cropping, I'm cloning, backdrops in and stuff. And people do look a little bit distorted with that, which is fun with dogs sometimes. But yeah, it's a problem. I need that middle lens. Anyone use ND filter for dog photography? I've discovered some magnetic ones. Yeah. I've seen a lot of landscape photographers do the magnetic ones. Kind of fun to watch, right? Um, I don't. I suppose if you used graduated ND. So if you're trying to tone down the sky, I'm assuming, like, you have the sky that's darker above them and then, they're down below. You could probably. I feel like I would jostle my camera around too much, but I don't know how tight that magnet is. Because when I see landscape photographers using those magnetic ones, they just stick it on a tripod and never touch it. So it's pretty safe. But as a dog photographer laying on the ground and bouncing everything around, I don't know. And then you have to be careful that you do, like, when you go from horizontal to vertical, that you spin it if it's a graduated neutral density, which would be great for skies, right? Um, or try to underexpose one shot for the sky. I think that's how I cheat it sometimes. Frank and I did a session with a person and her horse, and the horse is basically silhouetted just so I could get the sky nice, and I was actually just able to pull up the shadows. But if I'd been thinking about it, I would have hurried up and just made 2 shots almost like HDR, but I haven't. So maybe someone else can pop in here and say if they've used ND for dog photography at all. Oh, you do have the 1 battery. Oh, it's the same one as a D810? Well, that's interesting. Yeah. Oh, for the iFocus. I know. Like, once you move up to those mirrorless, they just need batteries for everything, it feels like. Which, there's a lot of perks that go with that for sure. But oof, yeah, I would be stressed out if I only had 1 battery for sure. I hope you can find one. Andrea, I love that pink tree in your bio. I've used them at the zoo on really bright days, but haven't used them for pets, but mine are the screw-on. Yeah, that would be a really interesting experiment. The really good ones are very expensive though, and I don't think you can rent NDs. But if you bought, like, leaf filters are the ones that a lot of landscape photographers use. And Steve got a set of leaf filters, but it was a lot of money, I felt like, for a person who never used filters. But there's the Koken brand, and Frank was just using that when we were at the lake the other day. So maybe if Frank's in here, you could say what you think. It's just it's not as, I think those are maybe more a plastic than, I don't know. You'd have to find out. So there are different brands that are cheaper to more expensive. It'd be interesting to try it though. Hmm. But if you had, like, one of your pets, right, and you did a test shoot, like a, let's say, a dog that was pretty patient with you, and put him in that situation and try it with your screw on to see if you like it, and then you'll kind of know if you want to invest a few $100s into that one, that filter, I'm thinking. Yeah. Yeah. Patty, use ND filter. Yeah, right. Okay, yeah. Same kind of thing. I'm used to underexposing. Okay. Yeah. What do we got here? 10 stop and 6 stop. You can use ones less dark, but it all depends on the light. Are those graduated, Patty? Are they like the ones that Steve has? We did a video on the Cattail Chronicles channel not too long ago, and he was using those kind of for the first time on the big lens. Um, I can't remember if they're variable. I think they were just, you know, a full 10 stop, full 6 stop. He has a 20 stop also that he uses for when the solar eclipse happened. That was crazy. Like you can't see anything. How are you taking a picture? Frank, they're plastic. Okay. You weren't sure how much you'd be using them. But I remember way, way back in the day, like 30 years ago when the Koken filters first came out with the holder like you've got. And it was really cool to have them accessible, you know? So I had them ages ago. But I don't know whatever happened to those. I just don't use them anymore. Ah, case. Okay, yes. Who is it? Adam Gibbs, I think, uses the case, doesn't he? Yeah. So Adam uses them with his like medium format camera. They're probably real good. Oh, he's a landscape photographer in Vancouver Island on YouTube. I found that the raw processing software has ND filter plugin. What? That's so cool. And I know you use GIMP, Frank. I just noticed the other day in Lightroom, they have a built-in masking now in Lightroom. And I think I'd seen a couple of videos about it, but hadn't really put it together how I can use it. Because I pulled in one of those horse pictures. So the horse and the person were mostly a silhouette, and the background had this really cool sunset going on. And in Lightroom, you can go up to mask and that could be select subject or select sky. I was shocked. I was shocked how good it was. Now I don't edit my photos anymore. I have an editor. So I will probably do a video about that. I absolutely love doing that. I'm not a huge, huge fan of fine tuning editing and stuff. But anyway, that's a whole different thing. But I had to try it and it worked really good. So it might be worth going back and looking at your old pictures with a blown out sky and you can put a filter over it or try what Frank's talking about. They're not graduated. Okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah, with the water. Yes, because if it's a bright day, you can only, your camera can only do so much, right? Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Be creative. That's what we're doing here. That's what we do. Raw therapy. That's what it is. Oh, thank you, Frank. I'd forgotten what it was called. Because GIMP is just for like your basic edits, isn't it? Is it more like kind of Lightroom? Yeah. Yeah, I hesitate to say that I use an editor now because I know there's so many people who love to see the editing tutorials here on Lightroom. I've tried a couple of them. I kind of stink at it. There is another pet photographer on here that does a million and one of those, and I'm like, I would rather be out photographing the animals and showing you that or talking about business. So not only am I kind of terrible about teaching editing, also it's not something I love to do. So I have hired an editing team. And so what I do is when I shoot my sessions, I come home and immediately upload them and cull them. So I'm really good at culling. I have no problem culling down photos from, however many 100 to 100. And then I have a export plugin or export preset in Lightroom that exports them over to Dropbox as raw with an XMP, I think it's called Sidecar. And then I go onto the website and say, okay, here it is. It's ready for you. And then I get all the edited files back in a week and a half. And so then I'm done. I'm done with that session until I get the files back. I load them into Pro Select. I sometimes crop them down because I send them the full image and sometimes I just want this much. So I'll crop them down and then put them in my Pro Select software. So that's been kind of a time saver for me, for sure. GIMP is closer to, oh, okay. Okay, good to know. GIMP has been around a long time too, so there's probably a lot of tutorials. Okay. Yeah. I've just not really delved into it much since I've got Lightroom. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. You want it to be right in the camera, but sometimes you can't. Um, so for instance, the horse with the sunset behind it. Horses do not like flashes, right? You know that. And this was a young horse, and so we didn't wanna use the flash, and the reflector would have just we'd had to have a huge reflector for an entire horse and a person. So I just purposely knew that I'd have to underexpose and pull up the shadows. Yeah. But, oh, man, is it nice when you can get it just right on set. Like, the one we Frank and I did at the lake the other day, the light was perfect, the dog was perfect, Frank was, the master of the reflector, which we will be filming a video for y'all. There's a million ways to use that reflector that it's gorgeous when you can get it right, and those hardly need any editing. Same with the other lake. The next day, we went to a different lake and did a session. It was so great. Marie, this weekend gone was our local show where they have show bags and rides. Every year, the local photography club has print and digital competitions. I've entered a print open and came first and champion. My gosh, that's awesome. Woohoo. 4 paws up for Marie. Good job. Wow. I don't know what a show bag is and a show ride. What does that even mean? Every year, the local that is so cool, though. Yay. If you're in our Facebook group, I'd love to see the winning image. Yeah. Oh, I'm skipping ahead here. Okay. Came in first in digital open. Oh my gosh. See, I don't know anything about all these things. Woohoo. That's so cool. Yay. Everyone says congrats. Yes. Andrew says congrats. Marie. Heather says, Marie, how fabulous. Frank says congrats. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, well deserved. It takes some guts to enter enter competitions, right? Congratulations, says Patty. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You might not have been able to before, right? You don't want any potential judges seeing it. Yeah, I know. Trust me, I still have some notes and I'm going to make a video about competitions and contests because they're different and kind of my take on them. Not to downplay anything that anyone here is doing. If you want to enter competitions and things, I just think we need to have it in our mind why we're doing it. So for me, um, I have kind of a way that I say, okay, it needs to do this, this, and this for me. Like that contest or that competition has to fill my bucket, not their requirements necessarily. So I don't know. I just think differently, you know. But now Marie can actually put on her website award winning, right? Or wherever you can email your clients or put it on the wall of your studio. You could do that. I've noticed that other photographer here on YouTube. I don't really watch any of her stuff anymore, partly because it's all editing and I'm not interested. But she, in her bio now, I think it says, "Hi, I'm award-winning blah 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 blah." In the beginning of every single thing, I'm like, "All right, okay, what did you win an award in?" Like sometimes I think that when we say we won an award, we need to say what it was for. So have the story behind it. Like Marie, if you have a blog, it would be great to put a story behind how you created that image and why and what happened during and how great it feels to have that be um, recognized by whoever recognized it, right? So I think it's so helpful to add all of that to it so you could let people know. But of course, you can just do this for your own personal too. I'm just totally coming at this from a professional. As a pro, I have certain things that I want to look out for. This used to be a rights grab. So it used to be that companies like big companies would do photo contests. And in the fine print, it said, and we get copyright of all your pictures. And that's how they got pictures for free. Big companies. Now I don't think they do that as much anymore, but I'm really wary of that. Yeah. Enter the International Pet Photographer of the Year competition. Didn't merit, but those images got high scores in your local competition. Go figure it. It's very subjective. So I've been in camera clubs for years. I've been president of camera clubs. The one here is not very competitive, but I used to be in the main one that's around the country. And there are the ways that you score are based on certain things. Obviously, they're technical stuff, but then it just kind of comes down to whatever subjective. And this was the same when I ran a huge photography show at a county fair, big county fair, huge. Hundreds of people would bring in their photos. And the judges, I had to find a panel of 3 judges every year. It was so different every single time. You know? Um, so there's that a little bit of the technical pieces that you need, and then whoever's judging it, kind of what they see and what they care about, you know? Um, I've been kind of shocked at PPA. I still get the magazine, even though I told them I don't want it, the paper printed one, but you can go online and see the competition for PPA, and it's extremely edited, extremely. So it's really an art competition and not a photo competition in my mind. Massive amounts of compilations? Is that what they're called? Composites and textures and just everything is completely different. So to me, that is an art competition. So it bothers me that it's like, that's not really what sells to my clients. That is a completely separate part of PPA in my mind. They want you to enter these competitions and do all these things, and I get that you're gonna learn all this stuff, but I mean, that's not what my clients are paying for. I wanna do a really good job for my clients and do it on a consistent basis that I can still make money. Maybe I'm too practical. Am I too practical? Am I not arty enough? Maybe I'm just not artsy enough. I don't know. I'm not sure. Frank did ask me at one point, would I ever consider trying to get the, accreditation or whatever it is when you go through PPA, you can go through all the steps, you can send in your pictures, and they'll give you, like, the little bling for your collar and whatever that stuff is, and you can merit and everything. And I was like, "Well, I don't really wanna take on that project." So to me, that's a project. But in the idea of upping my skills, like, okay, I bet I have gaps because I'm pretty much self-taught. I know I have gaps in my skills. So that would be one reason for me to do that kind of competition, to fill in the gaps in my skills and really work on a project because I feel like I'm project based. So that is one take I have on contests. Not that Marie or anybody else asked. So woohoo, Marie! There's a lot of critics out there, just so many. So it's good that you found an outlet that has people who are not just anyone looking from anywhere, just like giving I see so many people like on TikTok that just get slammed for any kind of art that they have on there, and it's just so sad. So one of the upsides of renting a contest is it's gonna be good judges. They're not just gonna be rude to you. So the plus side to entering these, right? Huge difference in photography and digital art. I think so. There's like a massive amount of effort that goes into those digital arts. And, not that I don't edit my client pictures and things like that, but not like that. I'd have to charge way too much. Way too much. If I'm putting so many hours in a photo, there's no way. There's so much feedback out there. Oh my gosh. I know. I know. Ah. And I know a lot of the draw for a lot of the photography teaching sites is to do like a monthly competition. I think that's what the other YouTuber does. And I don't know. I mean, I can give you my opinion all day long. Um, but is that worthwhile to you? I don't I don't really wanna do that, and I don't want you to feel bad. I mean, I know Tony and Chelsea Northrup, if you follow other photographers, huge name photographers on YouTube, they did that for a long time. I think it was every Thursday, they did a live stream, and they would have a theme, and people would send in their photos, and it just got to the point where they felt like they were hurting people's feelings all the time because no matter what they said, people would be like, "Oh, no." Um, and so they just stopped doing it, partly because COVID too, because they had a team of people that did that live stream with them, very high production. But they were just getting so much flack for giving the advice that people actually asked for. So that's why I kind of reserve that for portfolio reviews that you pay for. So you can go to ProPet Photog, sign up to have a call with me. And if that's what you want to do and you want to do a portfolio review, I'm very clear that I am looking at this from a business standpoint. I'm going to tell you what I think maybe should or shouldn't be in your portfolio, depending on who you want to attract, and then what I think clients are buying. So, and the technical pieces and stuff like that. But I want that to be in that closed environment, you and me having a private conversation. That's the kind of thing I like to do, is those types. And I like to warn you, I'm not going to be mean, but some of this you might be like, oh, you really, really love this picture because this happens to be, this dog that you love or something. And maybe I don't think it needs to be in your portfolio. So that can be really hard to hear. And it's hard to do that in a public forum. So I think that's where some of these problems come in too, for some of like the Facebook and TikTok stuff. I am really going off on a tangent. I missed you all. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, yep. Okay, so I said that. You're going to join a club that does monthly critiques. I think that would be more helpful for me. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've done a few of those. I enjoy them because I really love seeing your photos. And the thing is seeing it, having someone else look at it, you can kind of see where the puzzle piece is like, this is to a different puzzle, So when you're looking at your portfolio on your website, or your clients looking at it, they want to see this nice finished puzzle. If this one over here doesn't make any sense, then why is it there? And it kind of throws everything off. So I can just see it from a different perspective. So in that sense, I love looking at your photos and giving you just a little nudge. You don't even have to do what I say, right? If you love that photo, keep it in there. You might find that's your whole new thing that you do. But yeah. The clubs, when I was in camera club, if you can find a smaller club, what I found was that some of them, when they have the judges come in, they give enough time to tell you why they rated it like that. So I think there's a 0 to 9 score or something like that. So everybody always wants a 9 from every judge. So you want this perfect 27. I don't know if it's still the same, but when I was in the Portland area, that's how it was. So if you're at a smaller club, the judges will often take some time to tell you why it got like a 6. Oh, because this weird thing over in the corner that you didn't even see. So I did learn a lot when I was in my 20s and 30s in camera club, especially in those smaller clubs that give you time. Now we have a huge club here in Loveland, a different club that I've been to as a guest a few times, which is I think part of that big one. And they totally judge pictures on a whole different day. They don't even judge them during the meeting. So what happens is by the time you get to the meeting, they just flash the picture up. This one got a 20. This one got a 24. And they just tell you all the scores, and you get no feedback. So I think what they were doing is you could come to the judging day separately. I don't know. So just kind of look into it and see how they actually do it, because it can be helpful on the technical side. I have some ribbons left from those days because we did them print. So yeah, I had that for a long time. Oh yeah, so we already said that. What do we got? Okay, we got 15 minutes left. What else would you like to talk about? One thing I want you all to be cognizant of is next week is August. And depending on where you at in the country or, the world, and I think all of you are from the Northern Hemisphere, we have got fall right on our heels, which is really hard to think about when we're all in a heat wave. It's like 90 something degrees out right now, but fall will be here before you know it. So now is the time to dust off your pictures from last year. If you're on the pro, if you want to do this, charging people, dust off your fall pictures from last year and get them ready for your marketing, because that should be starting kind of like back to school time. So by the end of August, you should have that in place. And different areas of the country have fall, fall colors and cool temperatures and those nice deep blue skies, different times. So some places it's more September, some it's more October, some it's more November. So whatever it is in your area, you need to start marketing for that at least a month before, and with enough time that people know that you can complete the whole system, the consult, the shoot, the sales, and get their prints in time for holidays if they want them for gifts. So now is the time. I just want to put that little bug in your ear. Now is the time to start gathering up what images you want to use for your marketing efforts for the fall. And if you have kids going back to school in your area, even if you don't have kids, when kids go back to school is when people's brains start to switch. They kind of, I've heard some people say that Labor Day, September, the first weekend of September in the US is Labor Day. And a lot of people see that as New Year's. So for them, that is when they're switching over into go mode. They're either, starting their business or they're getting down into projects. So that's when they go, okay, we got to do this, this, and this before the end of the year. So for a lot of people, that first part of September is when they're planning out all these things, but then you have to nudge them along. So I will often start telling people in September because October weather's perfect and I don't want them to wait until it's too late. So I would say get into Canva, get into your photos, gather up a nice supply of photos that you can stream out when it gets close to fall. Q3, Q4 are the highest earning times typically for portrait photographers, which would be considered portrait in that kind of area, pets and people. So just make sure you have things in mind so that you don't get to the fall and go, uh-oh, I forgot to market for that, which I'm telling myself that too, because I told you I'm down to my last 2 sessions for the book project, and I'm going to have to work on the book and market for the fall at the same time. So I need to start thinking about that right now so I can have things ready to go. So I'm not scrambling when it gets there. So if you're going to have any kind of special or a limited edition type mini session, which I don't recommend during your high season, because that's when you're going to make actual money. Don't give them a freebie during that time, but maybe just before that. If you want to get the people who really just want like one picture for a Christmas card, you can do Christmas sessions or, holiday card sessions early September. Maybe there's no leaves yet, but they want to get it done. So any kind of specials or promos, whatever you're going to do for if you do Black Friday or anything like that, start thinking about those now because August can be a nice little lull to get all that done in. Yeah. So that's my little business advice for now. I know it doesn't feel like it's almost fall, but it kind of is. What else we got going on, everybody? Let's see. We've talked about gear. We talked a little about software. Do you have any other businessy questions? There is another person who just started posting on YouTube who's also a pet photographer, and she's in our Facebook group. I don't think she's on this live stream. Oh gosh, I forgot her name. But she's in our group, and I just put the puzzle pieces together like a week ago. Like, oh, you're the same person. I think it's Joanne Wetzel on YouTube. She's doing some very beginner type videos for people. She seems nice, and a lot of stuff for rescue photographers, just a lot. Because that's where her heart is. I mean, not that yours isn't, but she's kind of pointing her business that direction. I don't want this to start playing. Okay. I am going to go to her channel. It's a baby channel. Let's see. And I'll put her name in the chat too. That's just another, I know there's not that many of us. There's not many pet photographers on YouTube, but you can check out Joanne's channel too, and you might find something in there that you like. I think she's curated her channel down to just pet photography stuff now. So some beginner basics in there, which is nice. So there's another resource for you. Let's see. Did a photo shoot at the shelter today. Oh my gosh, a guinea pig and 3 pit bulls. How cool is that? Oh, I think guinea pig day was the other day too. That's cool. Oh, I'm so glad you got back to the shelter, Patty. Yay. That's fantastic. Actually, I haven't been to the shelter in weeks. Frank, are you still here? We should go out to Weld Humane and do something in August. Maybe that's when we can do the reflector video. I don't know. They do this, the river walk. So if you saw Frank and I did a video last year with the river walk, but we haven't been able to get out to that county. And then the other shelter is under construction. And so they just stay away from construction for right now. It's chaos here. I'm like, okay. So I haven't done any of that. Wow. Okay. So you did see her? Okay. Because I think she does talk about in her intro how much she does for the rescues. So yeah, that'd be good. Let's see. Oh my gosh, you had bunnies? Come on, how cute. Oh, I know. Are you still here, Frank? I haven't seen anything. Maybe not, but it'd be nice once we get through all these book ones, because I feel like I've totally exhausted Frank with all of these other sessions because we're having them very early in the morning. In the summertime here, we have to be on site at 7 a.m. Oh, good. You are still here. You were at the PetSmart adoption event on Saturday. Oh, yeah, I saw those. Thanks for the, Dropbox link, but I saw them online too. Yeah, Frank volunteers by going to the adoption event for the shelter that's hosted at the PetSmart, and he got some kind of behind the scenes cool images. Yeah. So, I think I'm in kind of exhausting Frank because, like, we went to the mountains the other day, and I picked him up at 5:15 AM so we can be on location at 7, which still felt late. Like, for the sun was above the horizon to an extent, you know? Um, Poor Frank. I think I'm exhausting him. Although he got time off when I was out of town and had COVID, so maybe you're recovering now, Frank. But we had 2 7 AM sessions in a row last week, so we had to recover a little bit. And that was my first week back after COVID, so I had to recover too. I took Saturday completely off. Um, yeah. So I think Frank and I have some projects coming up for you all, and one of them is talking about all the different ways to use a reflector. So Frank and I have put our heads together and have some notes on all these cool things and a lot of footage and photos that we could show you because all of my clients are letting me film at their sessions, which is fantastic. And this is what I'd use. Coffee helps. Yeah. So here, let me put this back together. So this is the GoPro Hero 10. I have the 7 as well, and they come with all these different attachments. So June, yeah, June was busy. I think May was fairly busy too. Okay, so on the bottom of GoPros, they have this funky foot, right? And everything screws on with this bolt thing onto the bottom of that. And then all these different connectors. And this connector, can you see that? Goes in the hot shoe of your camera. So it's just a cold shoe mount. So then you can mount your GoPro on top of your camera and get a massive amount of behind the scenes. It's wide angle, of course, but it's really cool because it shows the location. And I used it a little bit just on social media to talk about the project that I'm working on. Like, look at this behind the scenes of all these fun sessions, which I haven't done in a while. Like, I think I only did the first 6 sessions. So I needed to edit some more together. And then I have some clients that are repeat clients. And I've said, hey, can I share the whole session on YouTube? So I have a bunch of those coming up. I'm so excited to show those to you, but I could not show them to you until the client saw the final images. I just don't, that's my personal policy. I need the clients to see their images first. There's no sneak peeks to anybody except the client. So because I had COVID, I had to push everything off 2 more weeks. So I have a session, Frank's been at with me all of these. The deaf, partly blind dog on a paddleboard, and then that dog's sibling, which is blind and deaf, a session there that we were allowed to film, and then a session at a bar with this little dog and using lights inside. So I wanted to show you how he set up the lights and how he troubleshot that area with this little dog and all the different things. So we have that video that we can air. I believe there's another one, Frank. I think Melissa's session that we did up at Lori State Park, I think she said we could film. I don't remember now. Anyway, my clients are fantastic, and many of them are just like, "Sure, yeah, whatever. You can do what you want with them." So I get to show you a ton behind the scenes. And seriously, if you have a GoPro, you can get these for your phone, I heard too. But I think for me, I'd rather have this little tiny thing on top of my camera in my face, than my entire phone. Because my phone, we also use the sounds and stuff on it. So you can get a connector for the top of your camera for your phone. But if you have a GoPro, even just like a cheap $200 GoPro, you have all kinds of marketing materials, just all kinds of marketing materials you could use with this little tiny $15 piece. I think I'm going to do a whole video about it, but just because I'm so excited about it. It's so great. Ooh, yes, it would be. Yeah, make sure you crank up to as high of quality you can, like 4K, film in 4K, because then you can crop it in pretty well in 1080. in HD. So yeah, that would be really great. I send all this footage off to Katie for the YouTube videos, and she's able to crop things in, and we still get 2K a lot of times. So yeah, that would be super cool. If you ever thought about getting a harness, a GoPro harness for a dog, um, they're they're not that secure. Like, especially in something like that, I wouldn't do. I've done it for some video work I've done, but that you can never quite keep the harness from moving a lot with the dog's body. So those are really hard to use, in my opinion. But putting this on top of your camera, and then you can you can pivot it up and down. So in the videos where I want to show you my lens, like the lens review video I'm working on, then I pivot it down. If I want to just not even, you can't even tell I'm there, pivot it back up, stuff like that. And then I can take this whole thing off and like put it in the lake because it's waterproof or set it just on the side like that. I got some the other day, and you get all of you in there, stuff like that, or take it off the camera, or I turn my entire camera around. This is on top. I turn the whole thing around when I'm done, and the dog can come up and lick me and love on me. And I get some cute little footage of me and the client's dog. And it's really, really fun. So anyway, another gear thing. Yeah, you agree with the clients first. Yeah. Yeah. I know a lot of people talk about, I want a sneak peek. I want to do a sneak peek so bad, but I just don't want to ruin that surprise for my clients. I want them to be the first. Fast cat events. Patty, can you explain? This is canine agility. I can't remember. Canine. Oh my gosh. I can't remember what it's called, but it's kind of like that. Fast cat dog sport. Oh, coursing ability test. So there's that. And there's lure chasing, things like that. It's a 100-yard dash for dogs. Okay. Yeah, boy, that is high action. That'd be a good one to test out some of these lenses. Course ability test. Yeah, because does your dog do it? Is Lucas a cat dog? I thought you said. Yeah. How much fun would that be to photograph? That would be so cool. And they chase a lure. Yeah, so I think I know somebody who used to just she called it something different, like lure chasing. But I like the fast cat play on words. That's fun. Yeah. I don't know if we have too many of those around here, Frank. I'm not in the agility world that much. They probably do. Yeah. He has his B cat. He's a very fast cat. Is that what that means? I'm sure it's not. Lure coursing. That's what we call it here. Ah, okay. Yeah. Another person I know that's what they called it. Yeah. Fun. We still have so many people around here that love agility and nose work. So that's mostly the people I know of. I know somebody, she said she doesn't even advertise for her company anymore. She has a waiting list of 50 people waiting to get into her nose work class. It's that big a deal. Crazy, huh? Oh my goodness, we have 2 minutes left. If y'all are here and you have not typed in your questions, we got 2 minutes left until next month. Okay. I should probably also tell you, I have postponed the pet photographer retreat that was supposed to be in August. It is postponed till sometime next summer. I have some big projects here. I don't know exactly the timing of them yet. So I'll let you know. It'll probably be end of August again. So I have postponed the pet photography retreat. 2 types, regular coursing, ability, and fast cat, which has no turns. Oh, it's just chasing a lure straight away 100 yards. Oh my gosh, like a speed test. Oh, wow. Okay, I forgot completely to go through all of the banners. So just so you know, all the stuff that you need from me is over there at my website, propetphotog.com. There is a Facebook group, and here is the link to the group. And now and that's a closed group. Now there's an open page. There's a Facebook page for all of you. The Instagram, which I don't do on time. The podcast, which now that I'm better with COVID, I'll start that back up. If you want to contact me directly, there's my email. Monique at propetphotog.com. Oh, and if you like wildlife and nature photography, join my husband and I on the Cattail Chronicles YouTube channel. Okay, let me get back to the comments. Gotta look around my microphone. I have a friend who's Aussie is in fast cat dock diving. Oh, dock diving. Yeah, that looks really cool. Trevor. Oh gosh. I think he's Doggy Dojo. He has made a commitment to post more on YouTube too, but his is all about doing tricks with your dogs, and he built a dock on his property to train dogs at. Doggy Dojo. Yeah. So I met him on Periscope many moons ago. Oh, it's in there. Just so you know, it's kind of a fun channel. He's a fun guy. He wants to train dogs like they're at Disneyland, is what he said. Yay, thank you so much. Tip Top Mary. Oh, hello from Quebec. Thanks, Mary. Yay, thanks, Patty. All right. I'm going to call it. You can always join me in the Facebook group, the Facebook page. You can leave a comment here and I will read it later. We will have another live stream the end of August as well when I get back from Arizona when we take Emmy to college. So we will do these still once a month, but I have a lot more cool stuff in mind for all of you. And if you have any burning desire, you wish you could find this information out there in the world, let me know. Yes, Frank, I will see you Thursday a.m. We're going to photograph 3 dogs at the beautiful Poudre River Canyon. Oh, I'm so excited for that. Yes. Yay. Thank you, Andrea. Thanks. Yes, I have a couple client meetings, so I got to get going now. But what do we always say? Let's see, where is it? Where did I put it? Everybody say it with me. All right, I'll see you next time. And as always, I wish you many woofs, purrs, and TREATS. Okay. All right, bye.